The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the bonus show. It is a very special bonus show today because it is the last bonus show before David Pakman Show summer vacation, and I always take this as an opportunity to remind you the show is not being canceled. Every time we go on vacation, I get emails from people saying, is the show over? I want to cancel my membership. No, if the show was ending, don't you think after all these years, if the show was ending, we wouldn't just go off the air without any notice? It would be a whole drawn out and dramatic thing. You know me well enough to know that it would be very, very much drawn out, and we would have probably, well, I don't even need to figure out what it would be like, but there would be call-ins from former staff and all sorts of stuff.
You also announced recently that you're going to be a BC professor part-time.
Oh, and people thought that meant the show was ending.
Yes, those two things together, the show must be ending, right?
I'm just teaching one class. Each semester is just 12 two-hour classes. That's all it is. So the show is not ending. But yes, we are going to be on vacation starting next week. Pat, you are going to be going on an excellent adventure.
Yeah.
And it is going to be a road trip. What do you want to say about it?
Are you setting me up for this right now?
I'm tossing to you.
Okay, so remember we had that live caller a few weeks ago who said that, sometimes it's tough for hosts and even co-hosts to really understand the middle of the country, that progressives are, settled on the coast and don't really understand what's going on in the heart of America.
Yeah.
Well, inspired by that, I'm going on a cross-country road trip with a friend of mine. And I'm going to say before I show any images here, it's very lofty. I don't know if we're going to get to all of these places.
Okay.
But I guess that's kind of in the spirit of a road trip. Like, we have tentative plans. And we may just decide, we're going to pick up some random hitchhiker in Kansas and bring him to Illinois instead.
Right.
But I have some sort of idea what I want to do.
So you have a map that you've prepared for our for our television audience, rather, of what the planned route is. And that is extensive. So I'll describe it first, and then you can talk about the details. The road trip will be starting here in Boston, Massachusetts. The plan would be, it appears...
to New Jersey?
Right. You'd be going down to New Jersey to meet your friend, where you would pick up a camper van.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the outfitting of the camper van in a moment. By day 2, you will be in Ohio.
Yeah, that's Cuyahoga Falls National Park, I think.
Cuyahoga Falls. Cuyahoga. Yeah,
I can't pronounce
I never know how to pronounce that, yeah. Then you will be out by day 3 in South Dakota. Now, that seems ambitious, going from Ohio all the way to South Dakota on day 3.
I would ignore the numbers. I mean, it's not necessarily day 3 or what have you, but it could take a long time. I think that's like a 24-hour drive out to South Dakota.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of driving, and that's part of the reason why I'm a little bit anxious about this.
So I'll skip the day part, but it would take you through South Dakota, through the corner of Wyoming, into Montana, down back into Wyoming, into Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and then back across what I believe would be Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and back into New Jersey.
And the main points of interest are largely national parks. In South Dakota, you have Wind Cave, you have the Badlands. I also want to stop at Mount Rushmore and see Crazy Horse over there.
Sure.
And then I'm going to go up to Yellowstone National Park, which I hear is absolutely beautiful. Going to spend a few days over there. Down to Grand Teton National Park, and the solar eclipse is going to be right there, on that line.
And is there going to be a big crowd of people gathering there for the eclipse?
Probably. We're not prepared, so I don't know if we're going to just be stuck in line the whole time and see it from a line of cars. But we got that.
Okay.
And then down to, maybe Arches in Utah, over to Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. And I think at that point, we'll just want to shoot right home.
Now, if you look at the Colorado part, if you can put that back up for a second, there's a spot in Colorado where it seems as though you're deviating in a very strange way from your trip, where you're going north, east, and south to sort of rejoin the line.
I think that's just going to the national park, because I'd imagine that there's some windy roads out in those mountains.
I would assume that some of the roads
it's not always a direct route.
Yeah. What will be your facilities for the camper van? Like, what is it like?
Well, there's like a bed in the back, and I'm going to have like a little cubby type hole where I'm going to sleep under it.
You're going to sleep in a hole? Okay.
Yeah, not on camera. Yeah, I'm going to sleep in this little hole. But I also have a tent. There's a hammock. And we'll be out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm sure there's plenty of campgrounds out there.
Now, when
this is really an adventure.
A camper van, this is not an RV, right?
No, maybe that's not the right word. It's just a large van with like a bed in the back and like a good middle section. But I don't know if it's typically used to sleep more than one.
Interesting.
Certainly not in different beds. It's very interesting. That's why I'm saying I'm in like a little cubby area.
If not, if you had to share the bed, you could just do like head to toe or maybe back to back or whatever you need to do.
I'd just rather not.
Okay, now as a vegan, you're going to be traveling through parts of the country that are not what I would describe generally as vegan friendly. Now, also you're going to be in very remote areas. So do you plan to bring a lot of your food with you?
Yes, you know what I actually did? I ordered some Soylent
Did you really?
Which is like a powdered meal replacer, and I actually got the bottle forms to be a little bit easier. I've had it before. It tastes like milk that's been sitting out for a little while.
Yeah, and you don't drink milk anyway.
Survival.
So.
I don't. But I know what milk tastes like.
So
this is more about survival, I think. I mean, I'm gonna be out in the plains in Nebraska, and the only thing we'll be driving by are like McDonald's and 7-Elevens. I mean, I got to survive out there.
And as we learned, even the McDonald's fries are cooked in meat broth or something.
Can't even
right?
have the fries.
Meat fat or something. So, and is the idea that most of the trip you'll be surviving off of Soylent?
Soylent's one thing. I'll probably get some Cliff Bars, some nuts. Maybe I'll bring like a loaf of bread or two and like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, I think they have grocery stores out in the middle of nowhere.
I've read that they do.
So I can probably get some bananas. It's going to be tough out there, though, especially when we're driving for so long and you don't want to stop just to get some food. I'm going to have a lot of Soylent, I think.
Why does, what does your friend, this is crazy, by the way, but this is actually, we've not put Pat up to this. This really is genuinely what he's doing. What does your friend plan to do as far as the food storage situation?
I mean, he eats normal, a normal diet. He eats meat. And I don't know what his plan is, but I'd imagine it'll be a lot easier for him to just stop at like a Wendy's or a Subway and grab something to eat. Whereas for me, it's a lot harder. But it also means I'll be able to save some money by just surviving off of the Soylent.
Do you see this as like a character building experience?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be the same person when I get back. I'm going to be completely, but I'm probably going to be a conservative, actually, going through all those red states. I'm not going to be the same Pat anymore.
What do you think could be like the factor that upends the plan? Would it be like a change of desires to where to go, a flat tire, or I don't know?
It is an ambitious trip, going all the way out there. We'll definitely get to like South Dakota, and maybe from there we'll just decide to shoot right down to Colorado, see the solar eclipse somewhere else. Because, I'd imagine that driving 24 hours out to South Dakota, we may say, I'm kind of done driving west at this point.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of hang around here and take it easy.
Wow.
So I can see that happening. Also, there could be van issues because the thing already has well over 100,000 miles on it, and it needs repairs here and there. We're going to be putting 5,000 miles on it within the course of like 2.5 weeks. So that's concerning.
2.5 weeks. Where does Pat even know the vacation schedule? This is crazy. It's a 2.5 week trip.
If you include that second weekend, it's a 2.5 week trip.
Okay. Well, that's news to me. It sounds very exciting, and I think our audience will be very interested in hearing how it goes. And I don't know. I don't know.
There's 3 weekends and there's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's like 2.5 weeks.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. If you've done the math, then I trust that. I trust it. All right. I mean, my plans are way less exciting. Let me put it this way. If my vacation ends up being as exciting as Pat's, it's because something went very wrong. Because what I'm doing is what I try to do every summer, and I haven't done for many years because of moving to New York and moving to Boston and blah, 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 blah. I'm visiting family in Argentina. And I am going to be on an incredibly long and boring flight from New York City to Argentina, which is typically a 10.5-hour flight. I've been checking to see if this flight is generally leaving on time lately, and it generally leaves on time, but sometimes, like yesterday, due to storms in Brazil, they had to take an even longer route to Argentina. So what is normally a 10.5-hour flight became an 11.5-hour flight, or close to it.
Didn't you notice they're also flying around Venezuela to avoid all that stuff?
I thought that maybe U.S. Airlines were now avoiding Venezuela and taking a longer route because of the flight plans I saw a couple days ago. But then it's not happening every night. So I think generally they're still flying over Venezuela. And
maybe
actually,
it's the pilot's discretion.
American Airlines is flying to Venezuela still, as far as I know. So it seems unlikely that they'd be avoiding Venezuelan airspace. So I'll be in Argentina, mostly in Buenos Aires, visiting family. And I hope to go to my old childhood home on Pringles Street.
No way.
In Buenos Aires, yeah, and take a picture there. I hope my mom says she remembers the address, so I hope to be able to actually find it. A couple years ago, it was not a great neighborhood anymore, but I'm told now that during the day, it's fine because it's become kind of more of a hip area to live. And then for the first time, interestingly, most of my friends who have been to Argentina know way more of the country than I know, because whenever I've been going since 1992, when I made my first visiting trip back to Argentina as a returning immigrant, expat, I don't even know what the right word is, I am just visiting family the entire time. So I never go anywhere else. And this time, I have actually set up a trip. I'm going to be going with my girlfriend for 3 nights to Mendoza, which is west of the capital city. It's in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. It's close to the tallest peak in the Western Hemisphere, although we're not going to make it there. It's like I don't know how many tens of thousands of feet, and it's a multi-day hike and blah, blah, blah. But I'd like to get into one of the foothills towns.
Yeah.
Just to you can get like a 3,000 or 4,000 foot view, I believe.
So you may be in the Andes while I'm in the Rocky Mountains.
That would be crazy. Cool. And now, is that considered, geologically, are those two mountain chains, were they at some point? They weren't connected. No, that's too far apart, yeah. Because of erosion and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll be there for 3 days. I will be flying on Argentinian Airlines. The last time on that trip, on that side trip, the last time I flew Argentinian Airlines was a very long time ago. For a long time, they stopped flying out of New York City. And now they're back, but the flight schedule is horrible. Like, you leave at 4 p.m. and then you land at 4 a.m. or something like that. Yeah, 11 hours plus a 1 hour time change. At least
there's only a 1 hour time change.
There's no jet lag,
It's not like you're going to Europe or somewhere.
But the American Airlines flight is better. You leave at 10 p.m. and you land at 10 a.m. basically.
Now you can sleep on a plane, because I can't really do that.
I used to be pretty regularly able to sleep on the plane. I'm going to do the best I can.
I just can't sleep sitting down. It's just not a comfortable enough position for me.
I'm going to see if I can finagle an upgrade, because I have enough frequent flyer miles at this point that I might be able to get an upgrade to something that is closer to more than 2 inches of recline, which is basically what you get at this point. I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, I mean, at least I think at that time, pretty much everyone will be sleeping, so you won't be infringing too much on someone's leg room if everyone's like sliding the chair back.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying, and we'll see. I'm going to not count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm angling to try to use some. You can basically not use frequent flyer miles. Like, you get all these frequent flyer miles, and then you try to use them, and it's like you can only use them for a flight if you go on, 2 out of the 365 days of the year. So I've basically decided that if I can use the miles to get upgraded to business class, there's not even first class on this flight, it's just business class, then I'm going to do it.
Are you worried about fainting on the plane?
I hope not to faint on this plane. I have fainted twice on flights, and it seems that we've attributed it to dehydration and just sitting down for too long while dehydrated, because when you're dehydrated, you don't have to get up to go to the bathroom, so it just makes it even worse. Blood pools in your legs. So I'm going to be regularly drinking water. I will be getting up, to use the bathroom as necessary. I can't really do anything else. That's the thing. It's unpredictable,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I'll be doing, and we are going to be, so there will be no new shows during the break. When we return, we will have 4 long-form videos, which I've been talking about for a while. I'm not going to re-tease all of them now, but we will also be publishing these long-form videos to YouTube during the vacation, as well as other content that we've been holding for the vacation. So there will be new stuff on YouTube during the vacation, just no new broadcast episodes.
So something like 3 clips a day, I think. And, some of those things our members might have seen before from the full shows.
Right.
But there will still be new content going on.
There will indeed be new content. So that's it. Good luck to everybody. I will have my microphone and camera with me. So if Donald Trump is indicted, if he resigns, I can always live stream. That always can happen.
I just hope I make it back.
Right. Well, both of us. We both have that same hope. And we'll talk to you on the flip side.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.